Imagine this. It's just past midnight, the early hours of Tuesday. The air in Otobi-Akpah, a community in Otukpo local government area of Benue State, was thrown into mourning. This is village life, where time stretches a bit more freely, even under the moonlight. Then, at precisely 1 a.m., that calm is shattered forever by the sound of gunfire. Otobi-Akpah was thrown into mourning and confusion. It was indeed a sad, tragic day. Armless people, just sitting and discussing, were attacked. Think about that for a second. These weren't soldiers, they weren't armed ads, they were everyday people. And the attackers? Armed bandits, suspected to be Fulani militias who had migrated from states like Zamfara and Sokoto. They stormed the community through the railway axis, walked straight to an area where a woman ran a shop, selling various goods and operating a POS service, and opened fire, just like that. The shooting resulted in the killing of 4 people, as later confirmed by the police public relations officer of Benue State.
Now, some might ask, and it's a critical question for you, the viewer, why were people still outside at 1 a.m.? But here's the reality you need to understand. This is a village. In many rural communities across Nigeria, life doesn't adhere to a strict city clock. People stay out later, discussing, bonding, sharing success stories and problems under the stars. Their doors are often open to neighbors. That sense of communal nighttime gathering is normal. But should it now be a death sentence? This attack becomes even more chilling when you consider the context. Just 2 nights earlier, on Sunday, a nearby village called Ekwora Odaba, Otobi, had foiled a kidnapping attempt. Their local vigilantes, led by a commander named Ochemi Jackson, had successfully pushed back attackers. So here's another hard question for you. Given that nearby community repelled an attack, should Otobi-Akpah have been on higher alert? Could better, proactive security measures by the community have saved these 4 lives? Put your thoughts in the comments below.
Let's get a clearer picture of what happened on the ground. The bandits didn't just shoot and leave. After the shooting, they broke into that woman's shop. They stole foodstuffs, cash from her POS operations, cooked meat, everything. They looted the place clean. The shop owner, in her own words, described the terror. Hearing gunshots, then the breach of her shop. She even heard one of them speak in Fulani, asking about the place. They took everything. This wasn't just an attack, it was a violent robbery punctuated by murder.
And this is crucial. This attack is not a reprisal. The village people didn't have any prior clashes with Fulani herders in the area. So why them? Why now? The mode of operation here is terrifyingly familiar. It mirrors the tactics of notorious bandit leaders like Bello Tuji's gangs in Zamfara and Sokoto States. This suggests a spreading pattern, a metastasis of violence. In fact, since recent US airstrikes targeted terrorist elements in the region, community leaders had been raising alarms about the movement of these armed Fulani terrorists from Sokoto and Zamfara into Benue State. The fear was that they were seeking new, softer targets. Sadly, that fear has been realized.
This isn't an isolated incident for Otobi either. Local sources confirm this community has been singled out. Back on April 15, 2025, 13 persons were killed. In May 2025, another attack claimed 3 more lives. This Tuesday morning massacre is the latest chapter in a sustained campaign of terror. So viewers, I want you to think about this. When a community is repeatedly targeted, what does that say about the effectiveness of our security apparatus? Is this a failure of intelligence, of response, or both?
The police response, through the PPRO Udeme Edit, was to confirm the incident, commiserate with families, and promise to hunt down the attackers. He stated, investigation is in progress and efforts are being made to arrest the perpetrators to face justice. But let's be brutally honest here. How many times have we heard this? We will hunt them down. We will bring them to justice. It's a necessary script, but for grieving communities, it rings hollow without swift, visible, and decisive action. It remains to be seen if the police will go by its words. The trust deficit is wide. So, what must be done? Let's break it down, because finger-pointing alone won't stop the next attack.
First,
for the people of Otobi-Akpah and similar communities, there must be a painful, immediate reassessment of community vigilance. The success in Ekuwara Odaba shows that organized local vigilantes with clear communication and possibly better armament within legal limits can disrupt attacks. Communities need to formalize their watch, establish early warning systems, perhaps using technology like simple alert groups, and coordinate more closely with each other. They can't afford to be islands of vulnerability.
Second, for the police and other security agencies, reactive statements are not enough. Proactive, intelligence-driven operations are non-negotiable. The bandits came through the railway axis. This is a known ingress point. Where are the patrols? Where are the covert operations to infiltrate and understand these moving bands of killers? There needs to be a permanent, visible security presence in these repeatedly victimized communities to act as a deterrent. Furthermore, interagency collaboration is key. The police, the army, the civil defense, they must share intelligence and act as one cohesive force, not separate entities working in silos.
Third, for the state government. Benue state government must move beyond condemnation. It needs to aggressively fund, train, and legally empower a state-backed community guard system that is well coordinated. The chairman of Agatu local government, Melvin James Eje, took a drastic step by banning Fulani herders from grazing in Agatu. While such measures are controversial and have wider implications, they highlight the desperation of local leaders. The state must lead a strategic dialogue on rural security, providing resources for fortified security outposts in vulnerable areas and investing in surveillance technology.
Fourth, for the federal government. This is a national security crisis. The spread of these bandits from the northwest into the north-central is a clear and present danger. There must be a dedicated, large-scale military and police operation to clear these forest corridors and railway lines used by these criminals. The rhetoric must match the resource allocation. The federal government also needs to address the root causes: the unchecked movement of armed groups, the proliferation of small arms, and the complex farmer-herder crisis that provide a smokescreen for these pure criminal terrorist elements.
But here's another critical aspect often overlooked: the psychological warfare. These attacks are designed to instill utter fear, to make people abandon their homes and farms. That's their goal. So resilience is a form of defense. Do you think communities should consider relocating from these vulnerable areas, or is standing their ground the only way to ultimately defeat this terror? Share your perspective. The footage from the scene is heart-wrenching. You see the bloodstains on the ground, the overturned stools where people were just sitting, the shattered shop, the voice of the shop owner trembling as she recounts her loss. This is raw, unfiltered pain. It's a story that needs to be told, not just for Otobi-Akpah, but for every community living under this shadow. To truly understand the scale of this tragedy and the urgent need for action, you need to watch this report from the beginning. See the locations, hear the voices of the victims, and grasp the geography of vulnerability. Let it hook your attention and move you from passive observer to an informed citizen demanding change. We must not become numb to this. Every life lost is a universe destroyed. Every shop looted is a livelihood stolen. Every community terrorized is a piece of our national soul eroded.
So, what's your take? Who bears the greatest responsibility for protecting communities like Otobi-Akpah? Are promises from the police enough, or do we need a complete overhaul of our rural security strategy? Can community vigilance alone succeed against these heavily armed bandits? What one concrete action should the government take right now? The conversation is vital. Let's have it. If you believe justice for the people of Otobi-Akpah and security for all rural communities is non-negotiable, share this video and subscribe for more impactful content. Together, we can amplify these voices.